It's Nolan. What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope everyone is doing well on this Sunday afternoon. If not, you know what I say, man. I hope it get better for you. Hopefully the new week brings in new blessings, new opportunities, and things of that nature to, brighten up your experience. All right. Now, in today's video, we're going to be getting into Dame Dash and his upcoming auction. Of course, that is the Roc-A-Fella auction for him to sell his stake in the company. This has been an ongoing battle for quite some time. Him and Jay-Z, they've been battling it out, trying to figure out how they're going to get this thing rectified, how to get it properly placed on the market, and to get all of the proper information disseminated to the people to make sure that they're making informed decisions about what it is that they're getting, right? Well, it seems that they finally come to a conclusion and they've got a date set for the auction to begin. Hopefully there's no drama that ends up pushing that date back again. All right. Also in this video, we're going to be addressing DJ Envy, who seems to have I don't know if this is a new podcast with his wife or if this is an ongoing podcast that they've been doing that nobody cared about up until speaking on Diddy. But it seems that Mr. DJ Envy is still advocating for Diddy to receive bail in his, federal investigation case, despite certain evidence or despite certain things that he's done as to why the judges have denied him bail thus far. He still feels like he deserves bail and he feels bad for Diddy's children as he's going through this. All right. So we're going to address both of those in this video. So we're going to start with Dame Dash and his auction, okay? So according to allhiphop.com, who is purporting themselves to have the exclusive, they say Dame Dash Roc-A-Fella auction is finally set, all right? Dame Dash's shares of Roc-A-Fella LLC, I don't know why they say Roc-A-Fella Records, will be auctioned in November, marking the latest chapter in his ongoing legal and financial struggles. Okay, his 1/3 stake in Roc-A-Fella will hit the auction block November 14th, following a decision by the United States Marshal to set this as the authorized date. Dame Dash, the co-founder of the pioneering independent hip-hop label, is selling his shares as part of an ongoing legal dispute centered around child support, back taxes, and other financial obligations. This is not the first time that that Dame Dash has tried to sell this. He tried to sell it off as an NFT a couple years ago. Well, he tried to sell his stake in Reasonable Doubt as an NFT a couple years ago, which Reasonable Doubt, the album by Jay-Z, that is the only active asset under Roc-A-Fella LLC anyway, right? So a couple weeks ago, Jay-Z and his legal team came out and said, hey, y'all can buy at your own risk. However, the rights to Reasonable Doubt will revert back to myself in about another 6 years. Dame Dash has been in an ongoing dispute trying to get the U.S. Marshal and the New York City judge to judge in his favor that Roc-A-Fella LLC shall remain the sole owners of Reasonable Doubt, as in the conglomerate between Jay-Z, Dame Dash, and Biggs, for another 65 years. Unfortunately for Dame, the judge said, hey, we can substantiate that claim, and due to federal copyright law, it's actually going to revert back to Jay-Z in about 6 years. We cannot refute that. So as it stands today, according to the judge, Jay-Z is still going to get that asset back in Reasonable Doubt within about 6 years. So whoever is going to put the money up, that is what you have in store for you. All right. Now, according to legal documents, the minimum bid for Dash's stake has been set at $3.2 million. All right. So that is the minimum offer that you can put on the table. $3.2 million. Could have swore that the offer minimum was about $2 million the last time. Now it's been upped over another $1 million. Okay. Proceeds from this auction will be allocated to numerous creditors, including $193,000 earmarked for child support and over $1.7 million for unpaid state taxes. And these are all outstanding debts from Dame Dash. Additional payments will go to civil litigants, including film executive Josh Weber, who's expected to receive $823,000 for some work that him and Dame worked on together. Dame went out and allegedly tried to distribute this work on his own, and he's saying he wasn't properly paid for his contributions of the project. Photographer Monique Bunn also has a $12,000 claim, and further payments will be directed to cover Dash's outstanding state tax liabilities, which are in the excess of over $7 million in total, right? So if you add all of his outstanding debts up, there's $7 million here, there's $12,000 here, there's an additional $820,000 there. So that's almost about $8 million in itself. Then you've got another $1.7 million for unpaid state taxes. So that gives you somewhere around close to $10 million in debt when you add that in, and the 193 for earmarked child support. So he owes about $10 million in totality. So he's trying to receive that from this auction of his stake in Roc-A-Fella, right? They say the auction comes amid persistent tensions with Jay-Z, one of Dash's former business partners. The pair have been embroiled in separate dispute over control of the 1996 album Reasonable Doubt, which is Roc-A-Fella, again, their most valuable and only asset under this particular company. Okay? Now, Roc-A-Fella Inc. owns the rest of the Roc-A-Fella catalog, but Roc-A-Fella LLC is their original company when they did Jay-Z's debut album independently. Okay? In the lead up to this sale, Damon has accused Jay-Z of undermining potential bids by asserting that beginning in 6 years, Reasonable Doubt rights would revert solely back to him. Despite the disputes, the auction has been cleared to proceed after U.S. District Court Judge Robert Lehrberger declined to intervene in the arguments regarding the future of the Reasonable Doubt copyright, meaning he is not forcing Jay-Z to take back that statement, and they're not going to enforce that additional 60 plus years. Dash, who helped establish Roc-A-Fella in the mid-90s alongside Jay-Z and Kareem Biggs Burke, reportedly hoped to secure at least $10 million from the sale of his portion of the once celebrated hip-hop empire. And again, the $10 million would cover all of his debts in order to make him debt-free, break even, and he could go on with his life without owing anybody any money. You know? It's a sad situation. I grew up heavily fucking with both Dame and Jay. In my years of like learning how to rap and putting my first little mixtapes out locally and stuff like that, like it was my fucking dream to be signed to the Roc and throw that diamond up and have a goddamn bottle of champagne and do the Dame Dash. I might even do the Dame Dash coming out at my motherfucking wedding. You understand? That's how impactful these niggas was on me. And that's both of them combined. Now, of course, they've gone their separate ways. They've been separated in business for many years. They've had an up and down relationship. At one point, they were pictured together somewhere around almost 10 years ago now, when Dame's daughter wanted to go to a Jay-Z concert. Dame recently came out and spoke about his encounter at that concert, and he said that the Douce had him drunk off one shot. I have heard that Douce is like extremely strong. I don't drink, so I know that shit will probably lay me the fuck out. But he's trying to also in a separate video allege that maybe Jay-Z gave him some spiked Douce. I think that's a bit of a tough allegation to put on somebody, you know. But of course, people are trying to tie Jay-Z in with Diddy. They're alleging that Diddy and those 1,000 bottles of baby oil were spiked with GHB, ketamine. I don't know all of that to be true. The source that is releasing that information is not the same source that's involved with his case in New York with the feds. This is a separate thing. Tony Busby out there in Texas, I believe, is the one who's putting this information out there. I hate to say it, but I am not totally on board with Tony Busby's cases. There's a lot of sensationalism going on with his particular situation. He's basically just doing open calls to the public, letting anybody come in and submit stories, whether they're real or not. So that's kind of weird. There's also the lady that is being called a liar. I'm not saying she's a liar, but she's being called a liar as it pertains to her story against Diddy. And they're saying that she was trying to pay off her ex-boyfriend, like, hey, just corroborate my story so I could get this bread and I can pay you off. What you want? 3 million? What's the price tag? So people are now trying to discredit her story. And do I believe Diddy's a fuck nigga? Yes. Do I believe Diddy did a bunch of nasty shit? Yes. Do I believe that he possibly SA'd as many people as they're saying? I don't know. I believe that a lot of people have probably been violated under his watch. I can say that much. But do I know the rest? I don't. And do I believe he deserves to be held to the fire for his actions? Abso-fucking-lutely, right? So that's where I stand on that. But I don't think trying to lump Jay-Z and Diddy in together is the right course of action. And I would think Dame Dash would understand that, because you didn't say that the Duce he gave you knocked you out. You didn't say that you woke up, with an ache or anything, not understanding what happened to you. You just said that it was strong. It is strong. I believe Beyonce's new liquor is very strong as well. But that doesn't mean that they're spiking it or trying to drug people. That is a totally different thing. Okay? Now, speaking of Diddy, we've got DJ Envy coming out once again and stating that he thinks that Diddy deserves the right to a bond so that he can be bailed out and live freely with his children until this trial gets underway. Right? Let's go ahead and pull up this footage of DJ Envy. This is not the first time he said this, by the way. He said it on the Breakfast Club. He's now doubling down on that in this podcast with his wife. And we're going to get into some of the reasons why that's not the case. Okay?
But relating to the new charges, we haven't seen the evidence. I can say that it appears as though he's guilty, but I can't cast my judgment until I hear a lot more about it. But it doesn't look good for him.
I will say this: Diddy's a freaky nigga. Like freaky. Like freaky Friday, freaky Thursday, freaky Monday, freaky Wednesday. And there's nothing wrong with being a freaky person.
There's nothing wrong with being a freaky person.
So the fact that he has 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube just means he just like to get shit popping. And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing illegal about that. Now, the one thing I will say that I don't like is I don't like how people, I mean, everybody's going to crack a joke. I mean, it is what it is. I don't like how people convict him before hearing all of the evidence, right? I didn't like the fact that they didn't give him a bond. And the reason is he was going to put up $50 million, his house, his mom's house. The reason I feel that is he was giving up his passports. Diddy has 3 kids without a mom, right? Mm-hmm. Kim Porter passed away. So he has 2 twins that are 17 years old that don't have their dad right now and probably won't have their dad for the next 2 years until the trial is over. I feel like he should have got a bond and been able to fight this outside while he did. Harvey Weinstein had a bond. Bill Cosby had a bond. OJ had a bond. And people could say OJ ran. He took off and they chased him and he still had a bond. Now, in this society, it feels like you're guilty and you have to prove yourself to be innocent. But it should be the other way. You should be innocent to proven guilty. Now, the stories that I'm hearing, like I said, I don't know. Hopefully soon we'll see evidence, but I do think it's sad that somebody with such a great legacy is destroyed because of the things that he did. Now, if he did do the things that they said that he did, he should go to jail for a long time. If he did, absolutely, positively, not even looking back, he should fucking go to jail. But we'll see. And the reason I asked you is because, people always ask, how does that affect how you listen to his music, though?
Before I answer that question, him having 3 children that are already without a mother and potentially will be without a father if being that he's not released on bond has nothing to do with it.
It does.
Not to me.
Well, it does.
If
Look at.
hold on. I don't think that has anything to do with it. There's a lot of people that commit crimes that their home life is not all sewn up. That's not a factor. If I'm a judge, that's not a factor. Hopefully you have family that can step in your absence. I'm more so just leaning to what's fair, because I don't believe in anyone being convicted until, they're proven guilty.
All right, so that's Envy and his wife having a quick little conversation about this whole Diddy thing and whether or not he deserves bond so that he can be with his family. Well, the problem with that is, if we're to believe what Cassie put out, and I would strongly believe what Cassie put out, because she told us what was out there to be discovered about Diddy long before anyone else came to the table to say what there was to be discovered about Diddy, as it pertains to her, as it pertains to that hotel incident and the evidence being withheld, people being paid off to withhold that evidence. That was already stated from Cassie. She had detailed the encounter in which he was physically abusive to her at that hotel, the things that he did to her, kicking her, dragging her, throwing a vase. All of that was already documented. We finally saw the footage. It was exactly that. Cassie told us that he was personally issuing her into trafficking, right? So she's the one that introduced a lot of this talk that we're now hearing from the federal investigation. He paid her out immediately. $30 million is the rumored price. Why would he pay $30 million to get rid of that if there was no merit to the conversation? If it's a $30 million shakedown, and I know that what you're saying about me is completely false, he's fighting it now. They saying he wants to take the stand in this federal investigation. But why didn't you want to fight it when Cassie came to the table? You didn't fight that. You gave up $30 million. So there's that. Then, furthermore, in his federal investigation in the state of New York, they're stating in their prosecution that Diddy has already been tampering with witnesses prior to this even going to trial, right? Part of what Diddy and his team are asking for, they're asking not only for bond, this is their third time issuing a request, but they're also asking for the judge to allow them to know who the witnesses are going to be coming into the courtroom so that they can know ahead of time. When there's already, they say they have proof of him reaching out to witnesses, trying to, one, skew their stories, tell them that their accounts are either false or not exactly as they remember it to be. There's also alleged evidence, I have to say alleged, that he's reached out to people, basically giving them promises of financial benefits to come to his aid as witnesses in court. There's a quote in the prosecution where they state that he said, I need you at this time. And if you need me too, you ain't got to worry about nothing. That is a quote. Now, what does that sound like to y'all? I need you at this time. And if you need me too, we already know what that's alluding to. That's simple fucking English language. Then you ain't got to worry about nothing. Basically saying, I need you to come to my aid and tell the people I'm not this person. And if you need me too, if your financial situation is pending whether or not I can help you, understand that I can help you. You ain't got to worry about nothing. You're going to be set, baby. Just come let the people know, man. But if people were, if anybody out there could really come in and attest to your character and just like loudly and proudly say that these things didn't happen, I would think they shouldn't have to be coerced with promises of financial benefits. They should be coming out in droves. There should be a motherfucking protest out there. People should be taken to the street. If you were really this person that is of goodwill, that you've done nothing but help people, this situation, somebody should be coming to your aid at some point. Ain't nobody said a mother niggas is like shit, bah. P.O.P. hold it down. That speaks volumes to me. Because there's people of lesser notoriety that have gone down as innocent, you know what I'm saying, wrongfully convicted and wrongfully detained and all of these things that have had protesters and people that have come out to demonstrate on their behalf. You telling me you have 30, damn near 40 years of history in this music business and nobody's coming out to like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no, this cannot happen. We cannot allow this. That tells, you know what I mean? It may not speak to you. It speaks to me. So DJ Envy, as somebody of your stature, right? And I say stature just because you've been around. You've been in the business of TV, radio, telecommunications, broadcast. I would assume this is probably your somewhere near your 20th year. Let's just estimate 20. You've been in this business 20 plus years, and it sounds to me like you still have not taken 10 minutes just to read up and brush up on the material that's actually out there. And I would assume that you guys covering this stuff for iHeartMedia, iHeartRadio, y'all would have more access to the actual documents much easier than somebody like myself, because they're going to give y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all got people that's going to go out there and fish for y'all to get these fucking topics to address on your radio show. So you should have more access to information than a common person such as myself. So why is it that I'm more abreast of what's going on than yourself? It's actually quite laughable. DJ Envy, your best bet when it comes to Diddy is to just sit back and watch. Or go read the fucking documentation for yourself and come back with an educated response and an educated opinion about what's going on, rather than just taking an emotional play talking about somebody feel for his kids. Perhaps if Diddy felt more for his kids, he wouldn't have found himself in this position with these sorts of allegations coming from 100,000 people. Okay? How about that? Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider, and I will catch y'all on the next one. All right? Much love and respect, y'all. Peace.
Yeah, king of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rag. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef for computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. But drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross I'm out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.